Hello and welcome back to RageGamingVideos and a new Elden Ring build video. Today, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a bit of a red theme because today we are using Scarlet Rot and also a bit of poison. This is the Poison Rotten Greataxe and it is a build that makes benefit of both. Using the Ash of War Barbaric Raw, we can channel this colossal weapon to suddenly have a quite quick triple attack combo with a final slam and then that follow-up strike at the end. This combo allows for successive hits, lots of status build up, and as a colossal weapon, it's hitting really hard too. This takes what is a slower colossal weapon to one with a surprisingly quick moveset and with some very strong trading capabilities, and benefit from the joys of both Poison and Scarlet Rot ticking away at a health pool and just watching as that enemy dies or that player starts to panic and forces themselves into a losing trade. So welcome to the heavy hitting Scarlet Rot and Poison build. Let's get into it, starting with the PvP. This weapon as a colossal weapon is a bit of a slower hitter but deals good damage, and obviously the poison stagger of this weapon is massive. As a colossal weapon, that's kind of what it's supposed to be, and we've seen changes over the recent patches to kind of push this weapon and this playstyle towards that, which is nice to see. And the main thing is that it has really good range as it is quite a long weapon, surprisingly so. Now, because it is a colossal weapon, whenever you do roll or crouch, you're going to do that kind of like light slam down with the axe, which frankly is a terrible roll attack, and honestly I would love to see that changed, give them something slightly better, but I understand it. Basically there's no range on it. If it hits, it'll do less damage than a normal hit. It's just terrible. You should try to avoid that. But I see myself opening things up and starting trades generally with running attacks. You want to mix up the light and the heavy because of the different timings, especially with a slower weapon like this. The timing of the spin heavy is so much slower than, say, the light one. With the surprising range of it, I end up playing a lot of mind games where I run and do a light, I run and do a light, they're expecting it again, so they roll the same sort of timing, and I do a heavy and it comes out so much slower and actually catches them, chunking out often a third of their health per hit, which is awesome. Not to forget, this is a Poison and Scarlet Rot build, so now they have a nasty bit of that started. The whole time we'll want to have the Warcry active though, which will increase our AR like other Warcries, but also it will actually give us that special triple attack with this colossal weapon moveset. With this, you'll want to try to catch people in trade or rolling, like they're rolling around you foolishly and you can get quite a few hits off. What kind of happens though is the people just don't seem to expect a third hit. It's a first swing, second swing, and then a delay as you kind of do an overhead slam down. People actually kind of run into that, like they dodge the first two, then come in to try to punish you and trade or even take the hit before they can get their own hit off, and it does a nasty hit, that final slam down. But the problem here is you do get stuck in that combo and you can't cancel it, you can't roll out of it, so you do need to use this with very clever intent in PvP, knowing you're going to be stuck in the full thing when you do use it. I think it would be great if this combo could be interrupted with a roll, you know, make it a lot more relevant generally, and also make it pretty damn incredible in PvP. But until we see something like that, you need to be clever with how you use it. Ultimately, if you only hit 2 hits of this combo, you will clean house. It's going to be like roughly 700 or more per hit, especially if they're wearing like low or light armor or low poise armor. They're going to get stuck in the full combo and basically die. There's the massive pressure of both poison and rot just building up as you hit multiple times in that combo, as well as the fact that this build benefits from successive hits, so your AR and damage goes up as you hit this combo. Now, the armor set we have doesn't exactly have a massive amount of poise because we're using a really heavy set, heavy weapon. Fortunately, the Warcry unique heavy combo actually provides you with a bit of hyper armor through it, especially at the start of it. So we can use that to trade happily, which was what we wanted to do anyway, but we're benefiting from a bit of hyper armor. Now, when you do get poison off, that is going to apply a lot of pressure, even without the Scarlet Rot. What usually happens is you'll need like 2 to 3 hits to actually see the poison go off. That's obviously going to be the full unique heavy combo, but to get the full thing off is unlikely. I find myself landing one running attack, then maybe landing a trade with a unique heavy combo, and then poison is procced. They've taken a couple hits, at least 2 or 3, so now they're kind of low. Now the poison's just chunking them out. Now, because poison is procced, our AR is higher, so we probably finish them in the next hit we land, and that creates a lot of mind games, a lot of pressure, and changes the situation majorly. As soon as you get poison off, you're obviously getting better AR, and it's great for you. But what's great is the fact that the netcode in this game is kind of silly. With other dot effects, this works the same. If someone rolls my attack and say I actually landed it technically, but they rolled and I framed it, for some reason status still applies. So poison and Scarlet Rot build up will apply. Often, I'll hit someone and they'll roll and so not take damage, but the poison will build and even proc. So now they're taking poison damage, I have more AR, and it changes the situation because they're taking away this health. So this is quite an interesting playstyle for PvP, definitely different to a lot of things I've tried in the game so far. On the other hand, we have PvE to consider. Now, as a colossal weapon, each individual hit is going to hit hard, and it's going to have nice poise damage. You don't need that much to actually get, say, a stagger with a weapon like this. If you are using heavy combos, which we of course are in this build, you're going to see the staggers as you apply those and land them in some form of consistent way. If you're doing, say, jump heavy attacks, which is a top tier brilliant attack with this type of weapon, you'll also see the staggers from that deal nice single hits, and is a great way to close gaps as well as also punishing really small windows. But of course, you want to ideally be doing the raw heavy combo with the Barbaric Raw, using that unique heavy combo to basically deal a lot of DPS, build up the poison and the Scarlet Raw, and benefit from that. I find that, you know, the full charge, while it does increase the damage of this combo on the first hit, it's a bit too slow. The full triple hit combo takes a while to come out, and you're leaving yourself very exposed. While yet we do have a bit of hyper armor to trade with bosses, some bosses hit really hard and will just knock you out of it anyway. So I do find myself doing the quick tap version, benefit from successive hits, and ideally build up the status as fast as possible, because as soon as that's going, we start hitting much harder. Mostly the fights seem to start the same way though. I run in and do the unique tap quick version of the combo to get triple hits off, and that usually triggers poison. Now my AR is starting and going, I'll look for another punish window or even trade to get another combo out as soon as possible. That gets Scarlet Rot going. And at that point, you can kind of just get knocked around, not really do anything, and watch the health just kind of tick away on the boss, which is funny and obviously effective. It means that as soon as that's going, you can kind of just play defensively, only really punishing the true long punish windows or safe attacks that you feel comfortable like going in for. If you're going to punish at that point, it doesn't even have to be that special combo. It could be the jump heavy, like I mentioned, do a running attack, or just a light combo, because they come out reasonably quick these days. But much the same as it was in PvP, I find this quite the unique playstyle, and I've never really dabbled in poison and Scarlet Rot with a weapon so slow and heavy hitting as this. Definitely worth a try, it's quite cool. Alright, it's time for us to finally explain the build in this wonderful fashion that I'm wearing and why. Now, we of course are using the Rotten Greataxe, and it is in fact in poison affinity, so that we have the poison build up and the Scarlet Rot build up at the same time. As you can see, the poison build up is a very respectable 140, even though I don't have much arcane to push such a thing, and then Scarlet Rot at 65, noticeably less, but during a boss fight you're definitely going to get both off, basically in 2 combos. We are using the Barbaric Raw for the Raw in particular, which is what's going to give us a little AR bump and then give us that unique heavy attack combo. For our weightless seal, I have Dragon Communion Seal, because I do benefit from even putting in the 3 points of arcane to get to 10 arcane to be able to use this. We're using of course the Mushroom Crown. Whenever a poison or a rot goes off, this thing's going to proc and give us some AR. The armor is usually something you wear for the purpose of poise, to have as much poise as possible. What I've got is a fairly low poise armor set, unfortunately. However, the fashion is obviously impeccable and matches my weapon, and that's kind of why I'm wearing this Gravekeeper and Duelist set. For the talismans, we have the Kindred Rot. Again, any poison, any rot, attack power is going to benefit. We're doing a triple attack combo, especially in PvE, so you actually benefit from something like Rotten Wing Sword Insignia and Millicent's Prosthesis for that, and weirdly, the weapon actually scales best with Dex, so getting 5 Dex off the Prosthesis is actually nice. Lastly, we're using a lot of heavy attacks, obviously, so enhancing the power of that is going to be great with the Axe Talisman. When it comes to the Flask of Wondrous Physic, then, we are boosting successive attacks, as we have those talismans for that, and of course we're boosting charge attack power for the same reason we're using lots of heavies. When it comes to our incantations, I only have Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow, so let's take a look at the status. This is the PvE stats. We have 45 Vigor, which frees up enough points to actually reach the 80 Dexterity, which is what we want, and I also have enough Endurance to actually wear some armor of some kind, getting me to 25. Having under 60 Vigor is a risk though in PvP, so we do change the stats for that. I'll explain that in a sec. 30 Strength is the minimum required to actually use this axe in one hand, so you could lower the strength there so that you're only using it in 2 hand, and that would be entirely viable, and then you would save stats and maybe have more for Vigor. We actually have 75 Dex because the 5 Dex we're getting from one of our talismans pushes us to the soft cap of 80. Then Faith, as always, allows us to actually use the 2 incantations, the self buffers, and 10 arcane again is to be able to use the seal, and also the tiny bit of arcane scaling we have. Now when it comes to the other side of things for PvP, what I'm doing is I've got 60 Vigor and still 25 Endurance, but I'm lowering the dexterity to actually make use of this. Having slightly less damage per hit is well worth having enough health to actually survive in PvP. But like I said, if you're only using two-hand attacks, you could drop the strength down so that you have enough strength while two-handed and only attack while in two-hand. But there you have it, another build down, and quite a unique one today. As you can hear, I've generally found it quite an interesting one. It does require a bit of a different playstyle, but I really like that it shifts what a colossal weapon can be, especially with a kind of quick moveset and a long combo in that 4 sort of hit part style of this one. I'm very glad that there is some hyper armor on that sort of first triple attack combo part, otherwise this wouldn't really be possible in PvP to this day. But as I said, I would love to see some minor changes to further Ashes of War, such as this one and this unique combo, where we could actually roll out of things. There's a few that have that now, that have been added in patches, and I want to see more options like that, because it would make something like this much more meta relevant. For now though, it is a fun and very effective and viable pick, and if you're looking for something different, I strongly recommend it. For now though, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.